Welcome to the Fast Lane Car and welcome to Byers, Colorado and the High Plains Raceway. And today, as a journalist, I get to drive the GTR, the Ford Focus ST, the Camaro, and hopefully not that ambulance on the racetrack. And we're going to produce a series of video reviews from the racetrack. Now, I am not a race car driver. I'm just a lucky enough journalist who gets to drive hundreds of cars every year. So I'm going to give you the fastest time I can and the best impression I can of these everyday cars, well, not the GTR, but the rest of these everyday cars on the racetrack. Coming up next on the Fast Lane Car. Over the next 10 days, we'll bring you 10 road cars reviewed on the racetrack. Why? Well, because we can. No. We think that if a road car does well on the racetrack, it'll do exceptionally well on the road. So, starting today, we're going to do these in order of lap times, with the slowest to the fastest coming up next on the Fast Lane Car.
If there is a two-wheel off incident, by that I mean if two wheels leave the racing surface, come in and you'll sit and cool your heels for 10 minutes. If that happens the second time, you'll sit for 30 minutes. If it happens the third time, you're done. Okay? Four wheels off is obviously the same thing, but all four wheels are off the road surface. Then you come in the first time, sit for 30 minutes, second time, you're done. Any car contact, you're done. Okay? If there's a spin, we consider that four off. So if you spin, come in, sit 30 minutes.
All right, gang, I am now in the Nismo Juke. And once again, I get 3 laps. I get an out lap, I get an in lap, and I get a hot lap. And so we'll see how this guy does with bigger tires, lower suspension, and about 9 more horsepower than the regular Juke. I've got it in sport mode to give me the most possible throttle snap. I'm waiting right now to go out behind a CX-5. I am not using paddle shifters because it doesn't have paddle shifters, and honestly, I'm not good with paddle shifters. So I usually let the transmission do the shifting. It's hard enough to concentrate on the corners and the entry and out speeds for me. So I usually let the car do the shifting. I'm not a race car driver by any means. And here we go. Now this has a nice little turbocharged engine, which is good up here at altitude. So that should be something that is helpful. And this is my out lap, so this is the one where you get to warm up a little bit, see how it initially handles. And right now I can tell you it feels tall. I know they've lowered it a little bit, but it does feel tall. Coming around this corner especially. All right, here we go. I'm on the back stretch. I've got it floored. And we're at 6,080 miles an hour coming into the brake zone. I don't know how good the brakes are, so I'm going to hit them early. I think it would do better on a dirt road than it would do on a paved road. It just, it's really struggling a little bit around these corners. There's a lot of top mass and you can really feel it. Having said that, turbo does snap nicely for a small car. So here comes my first lap. I'm about to pass the start-stop line, and that was a 1:15.90, my first lap, 1:15.90. All right, I'm behind an Infinity Hybrid right now, so I may not be able to get the fastest possible time out of this car on this lap, unless he lets me pass, and he's going pretty slow. Here I come into the corner. Tires are working hard for adhesion. There's a kind of a vagueness about the steering. It's hard to exactly know where to put the tires, just because the car is so tall. And Infinity is letting me pass, so I'm going to floor it, let the turbo do its thing. There we go. Nice snap to it, 80 miles an hour, 6,000 RPM it shifts, 5,500 RPM, I'm up to 90. I'm getting into the brake zone. How deep will I take this? As deep as I dare. Brakes are good. Oh, car is sliding all over the place into the, and I almost went off there. Oh my gosh. That's about as fast as I want to take a car that I'm not familiar with. All right, here we go through the S-bends. I'm going to try to nail this apex and get the best possible time for this. See if I can beat that 1:15. Clip the cones a little bit. Here we go. Forward. Coming down the straightaway to the start-finish line. The best time, 1:14.66. 1:14.66. You know, small engine, tall car, you really do pay the price. Is it tossable like a BRZ? No. Is it a car that feels at home on the racetrack? Not really. I think with the all-wheel drive and the taller suspension setup, it would probably do better on a dirt track. I'm going to let this guy pass me. He's got a lot more power. So I'll let him go ahead of me. Here comes the Jeep. I'm going to take it back in. There he goes. Oh, that SRT engine sounds wonderful. Now I've got a GTR up behind me. You know, it's not terrible. It's not at home on the track, but it's not terrible. And we're going in. As always, this is Roman reporting for the Fast Lane Car. Thanks for watching, and come back tomorrow to watch another car. 1:14.66. That's the time. 1:14.66. See you next time. Alright guys, I'm in the Mazda now, and I'm going to keep the transmission in automatic mode. I'm just not a good enough driver to use the paddle shifters. I got enough to worry about.